Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here. Welcome to Throwback Thursday. Check out what we have today. We're here at Baxter Cycle in Marnie, Iowa, and they have rolled out for us this beautiful 1960 Royal Enfield Fury. You probably have not seen one of these before. They only made about 191 of these total between 1959 and 1963, so they're quite a rare machine. It's a very small motorcycle, and kind of a unique thing. I've seen it sitting over there, many times, and today I started asking questions about it. But so what is it? Well, it's a 499cc single cylinder overhead valve. It's called a big head. It's got the big head, which means it has more fins and a larger intake valve, a massive intake valve, I guess. We couldn't find its size on it, but they've had it off, and they were telling me it just dominates the cylinder head. The cylinder itself, this part, is aluminum with a cast iron sleeve liner. It runs a higher compression piston than normal. It's supposed to have an Amal GP carb. It does not have that. It's supposed to have an 1.5 inch Amal. Or is it AML? It's supposed to have an 1.5 inch AML GP carburetor. The reason I say that is there's a big discussion about whether it's AML or AML. And the older folks say AML, the younger ones say AML. So you all tell me what you think in the comments if you can figure out how to write that one. Anyway, this one is running a concentric carb, and I asked about that, and they do have the original carburetor. They said that with the GP carb, it was hard to keep it idling, and this one was much better suited for running. But isn't that just kind of cool looking? I love the way it jets off to the side. It's a very interesting looking engine as far as that goes. You know, the external oil lines, the gigantic. I mean, just look at the size of those. You know, the head is just humongous. And I already said it runs higher than normal compression. Other interesting things about it. It's got the I think it said the crankshaft was out of a 350 bullet and had been lightened and rebalanced and put in this. That's so it could rev freer. It's also got a Lucas N1 magneto, that is. And the end result of all those modifications was the original 500s were about 27 horsepower. This one is supposed to be sporting about 40 horsepower. So, you know, you got this nice light little motorcycle, this real throaty, runny 500 cranking out about 40 horsepower. Okay, there's a good look at the mag. Isn't that cool? I've talked to a couple guys that have ridden this here, and they say it feels like a lot of performance, but it's also a very rugged feeling machine. It'll shake you up, in other words. Originally it was made for competition. It did not. You could order with the tachometer. This is actually a speedometer. You can order with a tachometer and a light kit. So this one actually has a speedometer on it. But interesting thing, huh? 19-inch front tire. I think it's an 18 on the back. And this one is sporting it's called a Bates Desert Race seat and an aftermarket pipe. A really interesting thing. I think it's just a beautiful looking machine overall. So let's put this down and take a good look at it. Starting with the front. Oh, also the front. They changed something in the front. They did different springs, racing springs in there. It's supposed to make the suspension a little more rigid. And same with the rear shocks. It's supposed to have different rear shocks that were supposed to be more geared up for racing back in the day. But so let's take a look at it. It really looks bare bones to me. You know, there's a lot of engine and a little bit of frame around it. I like the way these engines look, and I particularly like this one. You know, this is runs the mag over here. I'm guessing this is an oil pump down here. And of course the external oil lines. If you do valve adjustments on this is where you get to those. The 4-speed transmission, by the way. This looks like the return to neutral lever. You click that and it'll push it back to neutral. Isn't that kind of neat how that works? All that, you know, put back there. Foot peg right there. Kickstart only, of course. Nifty, you know, I mean, tubular frame, very lightweight looking. You know, I like all this. Snail adjusters for the chain. Speedo drive on the back. I just love these old brakes. They're just beautiful, aren't they? this whole thing. Just look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? I just love it. I like the way they painted this red. I don't know if that's a factory or somebody did that later. Of course, you know, I like these linkages. This one has a big old wing nut on the end there to adjust it. Very nice. This bolt's for the brake. 6-bolt system. I'm guessing, you know, by this time it was probably an alternator, but I don't know about that. I don't see a rectifier anywhere, but I don't see a generator either. So front brake, I couldn't find a diameter on that, but of course it's a drum. Scoot this around over here. Adjuster right down here. See it right there. So really nifty, isn't it? Everything's metal, of course. You know, back in the day, these were either rubber. It was either metal, rubber, or vinyl. So coming up here, just a gorgeous looking tank. Badging, the chrome plate right there. Pinstriping, a little bit of a knee. You know, these little knee guards. I talked about the seat already. Royal Enfielding on the back. Oh, look at these little leather straps to hold the wiring in place. Ha! Very nice. Single petcock on the tank. Just a gorgeous machine, isn't it? Coming up here to the top, let's sit on top of this thing. On this side, it looks like compression release, so you'd use that so you could kick the bike over, get rid of the compression. This would be the clutch adjuster right there. This would either be timing or carburetor, and this would be the opposite, timing or carburetor. I'm going to guess this is the choke. I mean, not carburetor, but choke, because there's an adjuster there. And this is a steering dampener. And look at that old Smith gauge. Isn't that just gorgeous? I love it. And then over here, you've got the amp meter, charge-discharge meter. It says Lucas, made in England. Isn't that just gorgeous? I love these little chrome caps on the end of the forks. Like I said already, over here, we got gas, the brake. I'm guessing that is the carburetor. Maybe we can check that out somehow. If I spin that, does anything move? Not much. Anyway, let's do the other one then. Keep your eye on the mag. Nothing external moves, so. But just a neat looking machine. Oh, and hidden away down here, can you all see that? There's the headlight switch. Off, low and high. I'm not going to, it doesn't want to move, so I'm not going to force it. I just love the way all this is, you know, chromed or nickeled, or here's the adjustment for the bottom trip meter. Look at that. All that's just chromed, and look at how this is done. This is kind of interesting. I just noticed that for the first time. 2 bolts, but anyhow, just a gorgeous, gorgeous machine. I bet somebody had a lot of fun on something like this. You know, 40 horsepower on a frame like that. I bet it was a real rip roarer. And like I said, the people, there's 2 of them here that have ran it, and they both said it's a real runner. It makes a lot of noise. It really rattles you, if you get my meaning. I just love it. I love it. And in true Royal Enfield fashion, it's got the cast aluminum, cast alloy center stand. You know, just isn't this all just beautiful? Hey, something to look at here real quick. So the frame ends right here, and then picks up again in the back, just like the other Enfields that we've seen. This is actually a guard on the bottom. Isn't that neat? I like that. I like that a lot. You know, it's true Enfield style. Look at all this room in here. Just a beautiful thing, a beautiful thing. I love it. I love it. Hey, if y'all are interested in anything like this, or if y'all need parts or anything like this for your hot rod antique British bikes, if you'd like a hot rod, or if you'd like a hot rod antique British bike, you know, we've got VSAs, Nortons, Triumphs. I guess the Nortons are over yonder. You know, just everything you can imagine. Go over to baxtercycle.com, give these guys a call, ask for Randy, tell them Fuzzy Biker sent you. Now get out there and ride, my friends. Wahoo!